So I figured to give it an update on the progress of the Harvest Right dryer. I did get it back from the company. I was not charged for the shipping for the servicing. I did get a list of what was wrong with it, but it kind of, to me, looks like a lot of mumbo jumbo. Not very clear on what the actual issue was and why it wasn't getting cold enough. But as of right now, that is irrelevant. So, got the machine back, unpacked it, back in the basement, set up in my pantry area with all my other food that's been stored. Admittedly, it did take me a little bit of time to actually have time set aside, like everyone else, crazy busy with kids and everything else. But I finally got to the store, and I didn't want to wait for when I actually plan on using this machine is harvest time, when you're getting all the fruits and vegetables out of your garden. But obviously I didn't want to wait until fall, late summer, fall. So I went to the store and loaded up on strawberries, apples, a bunch of other vegetables. Wanted to give it a shot and really run it consistently, even with store-bought food. We all know how expensive freeze-dried food is, so it makes sense. This thing needs to produce to justify the purchase price. Now, I'm just going to call this specific machine it's roughly $5,000. By the time you're done with buying your extra set of trays, which I think are essential if you're going to run it a lot, we got the stainless steel variety, and it's the medium capacity. So this machine that I have, about $5,000. First batch with the strawberries that I bought went okay. They came out. A couple things I noticed were different. First of all, after the first session, I want to say the pump cleared itself out, which it had not done before. Maybe that was the reason why it was having issues. As far as I know, the problem was with the machine itself, not the pump. But that's something new. I don't know if that's something to do with the programming. Something changed. It doesn't seem like it runs the same. So the first session went fine. When it cycled out, I already had the next set of strawberries ready to go. Like I said, so now I'm wanting to run this machine almost around the clock. I really want this thing to be tested thoroughly for when I have stuff coming out of my garden constantly. I don't know how everyone else does, but what I do is I chop up the vegetables, add it to the trays, and when I have full trays, I run them through the machine. Because my garden isn't huge, so I don't have just a huge harvest that fills up the trays. My tomatoes and everything else are constantly spitting out maybe 4 or 5 ripe tomatoes every day. Next day is another 5 tomatoes. You get the point. Point is that the machine has to be working continuously to set aside enough food to justify the price of the machine. Well, the fact of the matter is the very next batch, I had problems. Now the issue is that the machine is not achieving a vacuum. Now, I don't know if this is a separate issue related to the last issue. Regardless, at the very least, I need to have it serviced after one. So this is the warning I keep getting. Let's see, there's a seal. On the edge. Drain valve is closed. This is something new that I didn't get when I did it the first few times. All this condensation and ice buildup. That's new since I got the machine back from being serviced. It is getting cold enough. So I keep pulling this out. I wonder if maybe the ice buildup is what's doing it. Try cleaning all the ice off, restarting the process. See if that works. Maybe total uses since purchasing the machine have been, I'm gonna say, a dozen uses before it was sent to back to the manufacturer the first time, which was a hassle. Now I was not charged for that. Was not charged for the shipping or anything else. They came and got it. They sent me a shipping packet. I had to find a pallet. I think I posted a video on what that all involved. Not super cool, but it could have been a lot worse if I was paying for the crate and everything. So my problem is one use, it breaks again, and now I have to get it serviced. I have no one around me that is going to service a freeze dryer. I'm sure this is something that's kind of a niche thing. This isn't something a normal maintenance guy is going to be able to fix. So my only other option is to contact Harvest Right. So now I did send them an email. Read the email that I sent. I said, did 2 cycles of food through the freeze dryer since getting it back. Already having issues with it not achieving vacuum. Tried pulling out the rubber, making sure the door had a good seal. Still no luck. I'm starting to think this thing is going to be a maintenance headache. Very frustrated since it wasn't exactly cheap. Issues with it started while it was still under warranty. Maybe only had a dozen successful cycles with it since it was purchased. Any chance I can just return it? So at this point, we're basically sick of this thing. Sick of looking. Every time I walk past it now, it is a headache just looking at it. Just reminding me how much cash was spent on it. Now, originally when I did the math, so $5,000 for the machine. Let's say we were to buy prepackaged pouches of Mountain House lasagna, just for an example. There are different varieties. If you buy obviously more of them, you get more of a discount, but just for the sake of argument, we're going to say it is $8 a pouch. Now, this is food that you're going to buy that is already grown, already packaged, already freeze dried. It just shows up in a box that includes shipping, and then you just store it wherever, anywhere in your basement, pre-done. You don't have to pay for those bags. You don't have to get those little oxygen absorbers. The product is already there, so I'm not growing it in my backyard. I'm not buying it at a grocery store, which all is at expense. But let's just say, for example, the machine itself versus buying these prepackaged meals all together at $5,000, you're looking at 625 pouches. Again, that's going to vary depending on when you buy it, where you buy it, how much of it at a time you buy it. So 625 servings. Let's assume this is for one person, and you're going to eat lasagna for 3 meals a day. This would last you about 208 days, which is about we're going to call it 29 weeks, 29.7 weeks, which is almost 8 months, 7.5 months, something like that. So 7.5 months if you were to just buy it and it just shows up at your house for one person for the price of the machine. 7 months you can eat lasagna, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the same price and a lot less headache, to be honest. Now, like I pointed out, it does not include the cost of the product, does not include the power cost to run the machine, which I think is like $2 or $3 per cycle. You're not packaging it yourself. You're not paying for those bags. You don't have to have that little sealer thing. You're not paying for the oxygen absorber. Not to mention all the time growing it or buying the food, depending on what you're going to do. This is just making a click on Amazon, paying $5,000. It shows up in boxes, probably lots of boxes, on your front porch. The end. So I'd done the math, and I figured, well, if I would, you need to run it. I think I figured it out. It would be like, I want to say for 3 months, you get the same amount of product. 4 months, something like that, running it continuously. And I have 5 people in my house, so obviously spending that on freeze-dried food would not last the same amount of time for 5 people. So I wanted a 6-month supply in my house. And I figured the freeze dryer was a good way to go about it, assuming the machine would last and hold up. And it is grossly underperforming. So at this point, I don't even want to look at this thing anymore. I have lost faith in the machine itself. Maybe I got a lemon. But I sent that email. I sent 2 emails. That was the most recent one, but I sent 2 emails to Harvest Right. And now I'm looking at a week ago. I still have not heard back. Maybe they're just busy like everyone else is. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I'd probably be satisfied with figuring out how to fix this thing. Maybe it's something simple. But as of right now, no reply. And if that is the only reply I get, then that is the worst reply, is no reply. I will send them another follow-up in a few days just to see. I don't know if there's a contact phone number. I can give that a try. But the point is that as of right now, it is completely a bad call, bad investment based on what I have seen. This could be just an isolated case. I might have just gotten a lemon. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I will probably also try doing another batch to see if maybe the machine needs to thaw out. Try it again. Maybe there was something goofy with the seal around the door. It's quite possible. I'm gonna give it a whirl. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you have any suggestions to try before reaching out to the company again. Like I said, I really wanted this to work. Growing your own food, freeze drying it, storing it, and having a big stockpile for, I mean, the situations and reason why you would want it are endless. During COVID especially, I think we started this whole thing before COVID, but since COVID, sometimes you go to the grocery store and it looks like the apocalypse where half the shelves are empty. A million reasons why that could be. I'm not going to go into that. I have my own theories, but point is having a 6-month supply in your house for everyone, I don't think is a bad idea right now, especially looking at what's coming up in the coming months, coming years. So this is proving to be a bad investment that way. So let me know what you guys think. Comments below, and I will talk to you guys next time.